Go.
Good morning, class. Hopefully we're all having an amazing day and all is going well. Hopefully we're all healthy because, it's getting a little chilly outside, so you think, until 70 degrees the next day. Anyway, I want to pick your guys' brains and see who can remember the informational speech that I gave last time, all right? It was about the translations of the Bible, okay? Yes, we did talk about that. We got to see this picture of the Bible, this one book, then transform into the book that we have now, and that's awesome. It's amazing. But I want to just reiterate one thing, and actually that being this topic. Can the Bible be considered a fiction or nonfiction book? Huge topic, I know, but we'll discuss that today. So, in order to do so, we need to actually discuss what fact or nonfiction is, and I actually handed out the questionnaire and you guys defined it. You guys said it was real, a documented event, true, truthful, all of those exquisite words to use and describe what fact is or nonfiction. You guys also answered the fiction and what that was. You guys said it was not real. You guys said it was false. It was a fairy tale. It was known as fake or imaginary. All of the words that you guys gave me. And that is 100% true. 100%. That is exactly what Google says. Promise. Now, since we have these definitions of what fact and fiction are and what nonfiction versus fiction is, we can now move on to an actual comparison of, I guess, what we will be comparing. We have the Gallic Wars, okay, and we will discuss that. And we have the New Testament. Now, I know I did say the Bible. The Bible is a whole book of 66. There's 66 books in the Bible. That's a lot. It's an 8 to 10 minute speech. I need to cut it down. So we went through the New Testament, which is roughly 27, which is 27 books. Now, the Gallic Wars. The Gallic Wars are a series of wars that the Romans fought. The Romans were led by Julius Caesar at the time, and it was around 58 to 51 BCE. And for those who do not know what BCE means, it was before Christ. It was before Common Era is actually what it stands for. Jesus Christ, the death of Jesus Christ, is actually what changes the timeline from BCE to AD. Anyway, we'll discuss about that later. So, Julius Caesar is leading the Roman Empire, and he's doing all of these great things, and he has 7 wars that he actually writes and documents himself on his own terms and in his thought process and his point of view, okay? Now, we consider this, as a society, this is a fact. This absolutely did happen. And with Julius Caesar's writings, we have proof that it did happen. But here's the thing. While this is fact, there's 10 to 12 manuscripts that support this. What is a manuscript? Well, a manuscript is written documentation of the actual event, okay? And it's handwritten, it's not typed up, it's not a typewriter, it's not anything like that. It's handwritten, passed down from generation to generation, supporting the cause or the clauses that of the actual war themselves. While there's 10 to 12, which is a decent amount, 10 to 12 seems reasonable, the oldest one we have to support the Gallic Wars can be found in the 9th century. Well, wait 1 second. If the wars happened in 51 to 58 BCE, and we can find the oldest one is in the 9th century, that's more than a 900-year span. There's a lot of generations from then till the oldest manuscript. Like, what happened? What's in that? Why can't we find anything? While that's a little alarming, let's take a look at the New Testament. Okay? The New Testament is made of 27 books, while the Gallic Wars was 7 books. It was the 7 wars, 1 book per war. The New Testament, being 27 books, was written in 50 to 62 AD. Again, AD was after the death of Jesus Christ. It was mostly written by Paul, the Apostle Paul. Other writers did participate in the writings of the New Testament, but honestly, we don't really know who all of them are. Now, Julius Caesar wrote the Gallic Wars, and Apostle Paul wrote the New Testament mostly. 10 to 12 manuscripts is on this hand, okay? That's awesome. Sure. Very supportive. The Greek manuscripts to support the New Testament on this hand is 6,000. 10 to 12, 6,000. $10, $12, here you go. $6,000, here you go. Which one are you going to choose? There's a lot more supporting the New Testament. Now, while that's crazy in itself, it also, these manuscripts can be dated back as to 50 years of the death of Jesus Christ. The Gallic Wars, 900 plus. These, 50. That's the same people that witnessed the death of Jesus Christ now writing about it. It's the word of mouth. It is the new hot topic. It's the new thing that everybody was wanting to know and wanting to see and wanting to witness. And people were writing about it. Well, you would think they would get it right. They literally just witnessed it in their same lifetime. There wasn't generation upon generation upon generation of these edits and altercations proving or disproving it. And while all of that is great, and there's 6,000, and that's amazing to think, we're actually going to take a look at this video. And I have this fast forward, and we're going to get to about a 1.5 minute mark. And I want you guys to pay attention, because this guy compares other historical texts to the Bible. We don't have enough time to watch the entire video, but we're just going to look at the actual evidence that supports the New Testament. Okay? Let me pull this video up for you guys.
And yet the manuscript evidence we have for these is so minimal, and the gap between when they were born. Well, it was in the 1st century AD, and the earliest manuscript evidence we have for it comes within 50 years of that time. Now, how many copies do we have? Well, there are nearly 6,000 Greek New Testament manuscripts, and they average about 450 pages each. Looks like I should have used a bigger cup. But you know what? That's just the Greek manuscript. When we count the other languages like Latin, Coptic, and Armenian, there's another 20,000 manuscripts. As I mentioned earlier, critics and skeptics rarely question whether we have the original message of these writings, and yet they frequently attack the Bible on this point. You know, it really just shows their bias. But when we look at the evidence before us, we see that their arguments really don't amount to a hill of beans.
Awesome. Sweet. So, in conclusion, we now get to see the hill of beans that he poured from the coffee beans. Each bean represented one manuscript in support of the Bible and what it entails. He earlier in the video does put 10 and 12 beans into a cup, and that's the Gallic Wars and what supports that. But I leave you guys with a question. If we consider the other ones to be fact, why don't we consider the Bible to be a fact? Thank you.
Good. Nice job, Jordan. Good. Let's get Pat set up. Do Jordan's questions.
Should I shut off the camera?
Yes. Did I not do it?